All right, guys, let's get started and talk about how top agents use Highnote to win more listings. And we're going to talk about the tools, systems, and strategies you need to present like professionals and walk out with the win. We're gonna talk about how to double your impact by sending both a pre and follow-up presentation before your listing presentation, your in-person one, to get a competitive edge, stand out from the competition, must have elements that turn every prospect into a client and maximize every lead. Win clients before you even meet them. These are proven techniques that myself and many other agents have used to win listings, and it's a very simple way to do it, but it's something you should do, especially in a tight market such as now, where leads are few and far between. Stay to the end, and you're going to get a free guide on the shortcut to winning more listings and more buyers. This is a guide we put together that encapsulates some of the concepts in here, but also includes many others on how to build fantastic buyer and winning presentations. Um, all right, let's get started. Look, I'm an agent, just like you on this call, and I was the number two condo agent in San Francisco. And I built a brokerage, Climb Real Estate, one of the top brokerages in the US. We were eventually purchased by Realogy. And then basically during our time at this brokerage, we taught hundreds of agents how to win. And we developed some really great techniques and science around building fantastic sales presentations for our real estate agents. And it was really the difference for us. Now, to give you some perspective, I started real estate at the peak in 2006. Right now, we started our brokerage at the trough. This was during the Great Recession back in 2008, 2009. And then look at the number of transactions that are today in the last year. Very similar to the Great Recession. What am I trying to say is that we are at unprecedented, historically low times, which means you need to up your game to convert every single lead. It's not going to be this way forever. You just need to push through it, through this slow time. And this was the office of our first real estate brokerage, this dingy live work loft in South of Market, San Francisco, which has seen better days. But I'll tell you, San Francisco is climbing now, especially with the rise of AI. But this is the brokerage we built. And we developed a home and we grew it. We had hundreds of agents that joined us because we were successful. We were able to win and close deals. We shot up through the ranks. We were at about $1 billion in sales with 110 agents and growing. We grew so fast that the world took notice. Now, we weren't always successful. We were the little funnel here compared to the big guys. And in the beginning, we weren't the top agents, right? So we got successful, but we weren't successful in the beginning. So how did we get there? Well, we weren't around for decades, like Coldwell Banker, right? We weren't the most experienced agents out there either. So we had to stand out. And, we hadn't been around for a century. Our name was not out there. We were new and we were always at a disadvantage. And so, how do we beat top producers? Well, the secret is by having an incredible digital listing presentation. And um, and that's what the pros do. They look like top producers, right? Uh, Anyone that wants to beat the pros looks like a top producer. So you need a presentation that top producers use to win. And it's the simplest thing that you can do to grow your close rate and win more buyers and win more listings. And this is what we're going to talk about today. What we found was when we are armed, when we, meaning me and my agents, when we are armed with great presentations, agents win more. In fact, much more. They're gorgeous and visual, informative, on brand, and they're highly personalized. That's what every presentation needs in order to win, to beat top agents, and to win every listing. And when armed with these presentations, our agents were more professional, they built trust faster, and they stood out and won. Having the best presentation turned our agents into top producers. And this is the secret that we're going to talk about today. Now, when do you send these presentations? All right. Well, here's the flow. Every single appointment results in this sort of flow. The lead finds you. Okay. You have an initial email or phone call. And then you have an in-person meeting scheduled. And you show up for this in-person meeting to pitch the buyer or seller, but we're going to talk about sellers here. And then you have a follow-up, and then you have a close. Okay. Now, these 5 steps are the process for every single sale that you have. Number 1, before you meet, you need to send something nice, right? Back in the day, you would mail maybe your listing presentation or some brochures to the client. Today, in the world of digital, you need to send a stunning digital presentation before a meeting, okay? And this is your in-person meeting. This is where you meet in person, tour the home, and then you have questions. They have questions for you, and there's usually some objections if you haven't signed it in person. And what do you have to do? Well, you need to answer those objections. And how? You send another stunning digital follow-up presentation. So what you're doing here is you're breaking up your sales appointment into thirds. You're sending something to pre-sell, then you meet in person to sell, and then you follow up at the end. And each of these steps needs to be pitch perfect, needs to be great. Okay, so I'm going to teach you the first 2 steps. I mean, the bookends before the meeting and then after the meeting. So the 2-step method. Chris Lim, he helped develop this method. He's the head of growth at Remax now, but he was my co-founder, partner in crime at Climb Real Estate. He won 20 plus high-end listings last year. And what he does, he sends one before and one after it. I'm going to show you what this looks like and how you win. So this is what it looks like. It's a fantastic digital experience that you send. You can upload videos here as well. But the first part is get to know the agent, okay? And then you can, let me see if I can share my, I gotta share my sound. Every time I do this, I gotta share the sound. Let's see. Share, advanced sharing options. Nope, it's not there. Share computer sound. Okay. So include a video.
I'm Chris Lim, and I'm the founder of Climb Real Estate. I don't know what my favorite neighborhood is.
Sending either a professional one or something raw and personalized, it's fine. Either way, you want to build a connection digitally with the seller so that when they see you in person, they know who you are and they feel like they already know you. So sending a video is a great way to win and build a connection ahead of time. And then you talk about your team. If you don't have one, you need to add one, make one up, right? You have an assistant, you have a spouse, your broker, your the front door person, your marketing people. They're all part of your team. So make sure they are included. And the power of your brokerage. Make sure you emphasize why your brokerage is such a great partner with you and a great place to sell a home. And then you start talking about great things about your brokerage, why your brokerage. In Century 21, I mean, sorry, Coldwell Banker's case has a lot of great reasons. Real's case is a lot of great. Every brokerage has some differentiating factors about it. So make sure you talk about it. Then talk about your presence, your office presence, and some special services that you might provide. If you don't have anything unique, try to find something that you do that's different than the other agents out there. Um, but because that's ultimately one of the great ways you're going to stand out. Now, the next section, talking about your results, either your current listings or your past sales that are similar to your seller's home that they're trying to sell. Don't show condos if it's a house. Don't show $200,000 properties if you're going after $1 million listing. So show things that are similar because they want to see that you have relevant experience. And then do something about the neighborhood, validating that you know the neighborhood. If you don't know the neighborhood because you're taking a listing outside of your hood, or maybe you just haven't sold there before, talk about how your brokerage knows the neighborhood and has a track record there. Sellers want to know that you have experience selling there before. Now, marketing timeline. Okay, talking about the marketing timeline. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, planning phase, advisory phase, off-market prep, listing goes on the market, in contract and due diligence phase at closing, right? What is the timeline? After an offer is accepted, what happens after an offer is accepted? What are the next steps? And then preparing to list the home. One thing that we want to show here, essential insights and documents that help us launch the home. Title report, property tax records. We always do this to include because it shows that you've done some due diligence about the property, and it shows several things that come up in tax records. One, who's on title. You want to confirm who are the decision makers when you do this sale. And then two, any sort of facts and issues about the home that need to be disclosed to any buyers, like square footage, number of bedrooms, bathrooms, and you're confirming all this information. You're also confirming, when they purchased, the loans, any liens on here, anything that you want to bring up in an in-person meeting with them. And it also helps personalize your presentation in a very simple and easy way by just including the tax records of the home. Value of the home. Never, and I mean never, send the value of the home before seeing the home in person. You may know or think you know what the home is worth just by knowing some facts about it. Oh, it's a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 2,000 square feet in this neighborhood. I know what that sells for. But you haven't seen the home. You don't know the condition. Maybe they have some significant upgrades. Maybe the seller thinks the home is worth more than what the market is currently saying. So you want to make sure you understand first the condition of the home. What does the home look like? Okay. Sometimes there's views, or maybe the position on the street is important. And also find out what the seller thinks their home is worth. Because the minute you say something that's lower than what the seller thinks the home is worth, well, you shot yourself in the foot. So never, ever send the value of the home before meeting. Get the appointment, walk the home, understand what the seller thinks their home is worth, and then follow up with the valuation of the home. This is very important to do. I've lost listings by sending the value of the home before I've even seen the home or understood what the seller thought their home was worth. Now, also talk about the NAR commission lawsuit. Talk about what the settlement was all about. Everybody seems to think that commissions have dropped, they've changed. Just the structure of how they're paid has changed. They just can't say it in the MLS anymore. But guess what? Buyer agents still need to be paid, and they still are getting paid. So that really hasn't changed anything. So make sure you talk about it. And then talk about the listing agreement, your sample listing agreement, include that. And why do you include this? Well, this is called a presumptive or assumptive clause. It really shows strength. It's a signal to the seller that you're here to sign this document. The other thing is when you send it with Highnote, You see if they're reviewing this document or not. And guess what? If they're reviewing the document, they are serious sellers. So make sure you include it ahead of time. It's a show of strength. Now, and you want to talk about your testimonials, why you as a close. So this pre-listing presentation is the best listing presentation out there, pre-listing presentation out there. And it helps win deals before you even walk in the door. It helps build trust. It helps build credibility. And it sets up your in-person meeting for success. If there are any questions about this, let me know. Feel free to put it in the chat, but this is the best pre-listing presentation and you're going to find out there. And sending it with Highnote is the best way of doing that. Now, I'm going to give you a little demo of how this works inside of the product. Now, you have a pre-listing presentation here. I'm going to use this one. We've used this for other calls before, but this is an example of what it looks like. I am going to share this now, and I am going to name this link 10-25. I'm going to require an email to view it, just so I know who's opening it and checking it out. And I am putting this in the Zoom chat. So everyone, please take a look at this. Click on it. You will see exactly what a pre-listing presentation looks like. And the idea would be you send this over email and you are sending it over email or text, and you are getting them to read this. So take a look at it. I'm going to pause a second while you do that. I am going to generate, I'm going to show you how the analytics work with this tool and with when you send this out to the seller. Now, great. I'm going to check on who's checked things out. So we have John Jones at Rio. We have Chris Brown at agentbly.com. Fentner at gmail.com. So for example, John Jones at Rio, he looked at title property report. He checked out We Know Your Neighborhood. And he looked at it from a Chrome browser on a desktop. We see Fentner looking at it. We see Varsha looking at it. We see Travis looking at it. And Travis, you looked at Get to Know Agent Name. So these analytics, Fentner, you looked at sample listing, agent video, my operational team. So these analytics are super important and critical so that you know, oh my gosh, they've engaged with my presentation. I have great data about it, and I know how to act and talk to the seller when I see them in person. Super powerful way, next level way to win deals and listings. Kyle Whistle of EXP talks about how he uses analytics to win deals. And he noticed that he was up for a listing, a $3 million listing, and but he only sells in the $600,000 range. So what he found was for this $3 million listing, he was up against the #1 luxury agent in the area. He felt kind of intimidated and back against the wall in a way, but he sent his pre-listing presentation and decided to go for it anyway, obviously. And he noticed that the seller was only looking at the videos. And he said, that's strange. Why is he only looking at the videos? He's never seen that before. So he went to the listing presentation prepared to talk about his video marketing capabilities. And he tours the home and he sees the seller actually is a video engineer. He works in videos. So him knowing ahead of time that this person was interested in videos allowed him to focus his conversation on videos. And guess what? He won that listing all because of the Highnote presentation. So it's a great way, next level way to win deals. Now, the other thing is once you're done, you meet, so you send the pre-listing presentation, you get this information, and then you show up in person, and then you pitch them. There's always follow-up. Hey, I want to know what you think my value of the home is. What do you think the strategy is to sell the home? Well, send them a follow-up presentation. And with Highnote, you can do that very easily. And this is what it looks like. The follow-up. Oh, we walked through the home. We did an assessment of your home. Here's my strategy. Here's who we should target. Here's the timing of when we should put the property on the market. Because if there's timing, best timing and worst timing. There's, and then here are my comps and analysis of the home. You could put in any CMA you want. It could be cloud CMA. It could be just tables from the MLS spreadsheets. Here we just put in spreadsheets, and then so that you can give a detailed analysis of the home, and then uh, make sure you talk about online property values. What do the online property values say the home is worth? Dangers of overpricing. Put in some tips in there about overpricing the home and the dangers of that. So we have all these templates all built out, and in the tool here, sales and marketing calendar, what happens on step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Week 1, here's what happens. Week 2, week 3, week 4. We have these genericized as well. Importance of disclosure and the reasons why your home isn't selling, right? Having the reasons in here, and it's all around property overvaluing. Maybe the listing doesn't look great, things like that. Really warnings to the seller why homes aren't selling. And then summary of my recommendations, my listing agreement, my team, my testimonials, and then why me again. So this is a great way, the best way to follow up and show why you as an agent to close every single listing presentation out there with a great follow-up. And why do you do this? Well, because other agents are not. So you want to stand out. You want to be different. You want to be better. Your competition is maybe sending one or nothing at all. And you have nothing to lose except thousands of dollars. Now, before a high note, this is your situation. Every time right before a listing appointment that you're going to be going on, you want to send a presentation, but this is you. You don't know where to start. You have sales presentations everywhere, documents, contracts, they're all in the cloud. They're all in your email, they're on Zillow, whatever it may be. And what are your options? Well, you could either build it yourself on PowerPoint or Canva, or you can use these inflexible tools to build you some sort of listing presentation with CMA in it, which is not recommended. Or you could have your graphic design team, if your brokerage has one, build you a customized proposal. But none of these ever work well. And so you give up and you end up sending this big email full of attachments and links, and it doesn't go well. Why? Because the seller, they look at it and they're not happy with the result. This is what they look at. They see this email full of attachments and links. They're confused. All right. And you're sending them not a great experience. And you hope to make up for it by meeting them in person. Don't do that anymore. Send them a great high note presentation. This is the consequences of not having a good presentation. Lost listings, reduced client trust, lower commission potential. This is an actual listing presentation that gets sent. And I got to be honest, no offense to this woman who's probably very nice, but this is not a good one in my book. Now, you have poor client retention. The other reason also is you have difficulty competing against tech-savvy agents. So by getting something as cool as High Note, you can compete and stand out. So what we've concluded is that you absolutely need a great presentation today, digital, especially a digital one. Okay. And that's what High Note is. It's a next generation real estate sales platform. It's digital, interactive, AI based, drag and drop, easy to modify on the fly. Just drag and drop your stuff, um, drag assets, links, whatever you want. Duplicate these presentations, personalize them, and deliver them. Your buyer or your listing presentation is going to stand out and win. Get notifications and analytics. You're going to read your buyer or seller's mind with real-time notifications and see what, when, how many times it's being read, and act on those analytics and insights. Highnote lets you be the fly on the wall. AI, we have tons of AI features in Highnote. Build and enhance your presentations with AI. Works in just a few clicks. Help write titles, descriptions. We're building things to help customize and build assets on the fly. We also have these templates built, can have them built for you. Build trust and creatability. Explain and show your value. Show you are tech forward and stand out from the other agents. Set up the in-person meeting for success. Send a follow-up presentation for even greater success. These templates are available for free, but if you don't have time, we have a done-for-you service as well. We'll talk about that in a second. So win listings with Highnote. Katie Day wins 23 listings worth more than $11 million with Highnote. Highnote was the absolute difference maker for a listing I won where I was competing against the #3 agent in my city. Dylan is a 22-year-old rookie. They canceled the other agent's appointments after spending 2.5 hours reviewing the Highnote pre-listing presentation. And this agent said he used it right out of the gate to snag a $2.25 million listing and a $599,000 listing. And there's tons of other use cases: client updates, open house sign-in, marketing or digital flyers, winning offers, recruiting, closing docs or annual reviews. All these things agents use to send to send to their clients to improve their workflow and their number of deals they do in a year. Offers, sending, digital flyers, welcome books as well, agent to agent walkthroughs. This agent makes these great walkthroughs for other agents to sell the property. Seller portals, it's a great use case. I use them myself for that. Sales portfolios, building websites for yourself to talk about your sales, adding them as a link in bio or email signature. So like a great link tree replacement, and neighborhood guides as well, annual real estate reviews as well. Now, we're going to talk about done for you templates. Okay, we're going to talk about these templates that can be built for you. And if you choose this service, we guarantee the results. We can help build you a pre-listing, a follow-up listing presentation, as well as a buyer one. Slides aren't showing. Are you sure? I'm showing my screen. Have anyone else having problems seeing my screen? Yeah, okay, good. Peggy sees it. Basically, with the done for you templates service, there's a one-to-one meeting, fast turnaround, 2 to 3 day turnaround on these templates, multiple template styles, unlimited edits with our staff, and we can do custom PDF editing as well for a separate fee. But we also give you a full Highnote tutorial on how to win deals with Highnote. And we also, you buy this service, pay for this, we will guarantee the results. If you use these presentations and use Highnote as described, and if it doesn't help you win more, we will refund your money, no questions asked, more business guaranteed. This is what the plan costs for Highnote: $33.25 a month. It's a drop in the bucket to help you win listings. $3.99 a year. And you get 15% off if you buy annually, which is great. Now, each done for you listing presentation is $349, regularly $750. But it's a setup service, and it's a concierge, a white glove setup service, so you don't have to build these yourself. And then So it's $349 each. We have a lot of agents who buy multiple ones. So what I'll say is that having a great presentation is a super easy way to win every single lead that you get. We have 20% savings. Promo code. If you use this code and purchase, you get 20% off today. And uh, and if you want to do a demo, a sales demo, Chris is on the call here. He shared his link. You go to highnote.io/meet with Chris, highnote.io/meet with Chris for a personalized demo as well. And here are the guides. And the guides for the shortcut to winning more listings and buyers. I'm going to pause a second while you scan that and get that free giveaway. I'm going to pause for any questions. Does anyone have any questions about what we talked about? Feel free to ask or email me. Is there a list of use cases to think about as a PDF? Yeah, we'll send you these slides. There's a lot of use cases in here. And we'll make sure that you're going to get a copy of these slides anyway after this call as well. And but thanks for the question, Peggy. But feel free to email me, book a time with Chris. If there's any other questions, we're going to wrap up and let you get back to your day. Oh yeah, in this guide, you're going to get how to win listings before your listing appointment. Yeah, so Peggy, that's the question is, do you use it as a way to keep the sellers informed? Yes. So that's with the seller portal. So in the seller portal template, I put all my next steps one by one, everything that I've done. And this way they can revisit that portal. And the best thing about that portal is they're reminded of all the work you've done. And they're grateful of what you've done. And we have that template as well. Let me see if I can bring that up. I'll show it to you now. I might as well bring up, I'll show you the one that I personally use for myself. Yeah, is this, you mean the presentation? Yeah, it's going to be downloaded and sent to you in a follow-up email as well as a recording and a recording of this. So I will share this with you. Let me see if I can bring this up. Give me a second here. I'll show you my exact one that I use to do this. And I just need to log into my personal email. Give me a second here. I might not be able to bring it up, but if I won't, I will send you an email with it. In our follow-up email, I'll show you what the seller portal looks like. But it's a great way to keep the sellers informed of what's going on. Okay, great, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. We're going to have another webinar in a few weeks about top AI tools in real estate. And thanks for joining. I hope this was useful and helpful. Thanks again, everyone. Varsha, we'll send you the resources link. But if you go to the top of the website, Lisa, you should provide the link. I don't think anyone knows what resources section is. I don't think that's the link, actually. Let's see. Give me a second here. Yeah, in the resources, if you go to that's not the link, but if you go to the website, the top, there's a resources menu where you can go and see all the great templates that we have. All right, thank you everyone. Thanks, Varsha, and thank you everyone. And email us if you have any questions about Highnote, and to sign up. Thank you, everyone.